Mic check, mic check. So Q1's about to wind down. Just got Hordo out on track, I think it is. And once he's done with his lap, we can move on to Q2. Looking forward to the action ahead. Looking forward to the action in qualifying, let alone the race. Can't wait to see the cars streaming down to that first corner on the first lap. But we've got to get through quali first. There's still plenty of time to grab yourselves a snack, grab a drink. Get settled in for the Italian Grand Prix. So Auto brings us around at the Parabolica and into the pits. Into the Red Bull box. And that should pretty much call an end to Q1. So Q2 only moments away. We'll take this opportunity to jump out and have a quick break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with Q2. And just a quick note, for those of you joining us for the first time in the Australian-New Zealand Open Wheel Division 1 Championship, please get involved in the comments. Don't sit there quietly twiddling your thumbs. The more, the merrier. Give us your race predictions. Give us your thoughts on strategies. Say hi to your mum. Anything. The more comments we can get involved with, the more fun it makes the broadcast. As we say that, Q2 is about to commence. And remember, this is a no assists league, no racing line, full simulation damage. Certainly makes for pretty wild races. And we are looking for a few extra drivers. If you're interested in joining in on the action, you can look for a link to the group Discord through the F1 2020 group. If you need any more information, feel free to fling me a message, Kegan146 on YouTube there. As we see some cars leaving the garage now. Ferrari first out, wouldn't have it any other way in Monza. And looks like it'll be the Simo in the number 15 Ferrari to give us our first lap in anger around the Monza circuit. So, following him out is Pump Mastiff in the Mercedes. And then a gaggle of cars just behind them, all flying out, followed by, we've got still the Shiz and the McLaren. The two Alphas are out. They've just jumped over Dangerfield. Hordo, just a reminder, won't be joining us for qualifying. He's serving a quali ban at the moment, but he will definitely be one to keep an eye on in the race. No doubt he'll be carving through the field like a hot knife through butter. Doesn't sit still too long, the Red Bull driver. We're certainly looking forward to some of that action. So here goes the Simo now, about to commence his first flying lap. The first flying lap of the Monza Grand Prix. As we all know, it's hard onto the brakes into that first chicane. The Retafilio gets a little bit out of shape on exit. We've got a yellow flag. Oh, that's just one of the Haas cars winding up to start his lap. As the Simo lines up the Roja. Skips over the curbs a little too much. And that'll invalidate that lap. So consider your goose cooked for the time being, Simo. We'll see how Pump Mastiff does it. He tackles the Roja just perfectly. Gets through there. And makes his way through the first and second Lesmos. Pretty smooth on exit. Will the Mercedes driver be our first to give us a full lap in anger? Now to Ascari as we ride on board with him. Seems to have that car dialed up at the moment. As he winds his way down to the Parabolica. Well, hopefully that's a quick lap and not a conservative one, given he just looked in control the whole way. It's a 1:21.3. Gotta get some telemetry happening here. So the two Alphas have done their time. Mort, as usual, quick from the outset, a 1:20.1. Takes him to the top by 9/10. Now next over the line should be still the shit. Oh, okay. He's gone to the pits. Abandoned that lap. Very angry side pod. Coming off that, I think it was a 4th place finish in the last round at China. He was one to watch too. Did a great job coming back through the field in that race. Tried an alternate strategy to the rest of the field that almost paid huge dividends. You see his front brake disc glowing. Keeps it well and truly tidy. And the exit of the Retafilio. What can the Renault driver produce on his first flying lap? He's got his teammate just up the road there. It would be Whitey. Actually, I think I'm watching an in-lap here. Dangerfield managed to get a lap in on his second lap with a 1:24.7 on the medium tyre. And next to go, just still the Shiz. He's coming out for his next attempt at a lap. Breno yet to set a time. Cousin Jason going for his run. Ooh, gets a bit out of shape on the exit of the Parabolica. Keeps it together. Where's he going to put him? 4th, 1:21.1. Just sneaks in ahead of the very angry side pod. Gets the job done. Who's that sitting down there? It's the Dark Knight. Just politely moving out of the way. Giving us a little bit of rallycross action. And Tactics goes in 7th there with a 1:21.8 in the Sol Williams. So still the Shiz preparing to give it a red hot crack with the soft tyres. So 5 drivers with 8 minutes remaining, yet to post a time, yet to bank a lap. Still the Shiz abandoned his first one. He's going to try again immediately. Puts his foot on the gas. Seemed to carry Great speed out of the Parabolica. Negotiates the Retafilio pretty perfectly. Around the sweeping right-hander of Curva Grande. Keep it tucked over to the right for the Roja. And it's a... Oh, he's after purpling the first sector. He's just cooked it at Del Roja. That hurts. I said he looked like he carried an enormous amount of speed when starting the lap out of the Parabolica. And sure enough, purpled the first sector. And then just got a bit overexcited going into the Roja. And that'll be his lap cooked. Further up the track, we got Dangerfield going on a long stint here. He's determined to get a time in on the medium. So it looks like a majority of them there keen to start on the medium tyre. And he's not done yet. 2/10. Oh, that's wide. He's done now. Given all that time back and some. And that's not going to serve him any favours. Well wide there through the first Lesmo as well. Not enough to invalidate the lap. That is through the second one. He made sure of it that time. Oh, who was that? The Humble Hippo. Did he spin or was he just getting out of the way? Seems like a funny spot to have a spin, but we don't know. We might check in with Breno. No, he's invalidated his lap, likely at the Ascari complex. So the boys struggling now, trying to find a little bit more than the cars are willing to give. We've got the Simo, is it? The Simo actually just jumped up to third as I've said that. Crossed the line with a 1:20.8. Just 500ths off a front row provisional spot. But he'd be pretty happy with that nonetheless. Mort, still the man to catch. Huge lap with a 1:20.1. I can't seem to track him down at the moment. So we'll head down to the Dark Knight. As he kicks off his lap, looking to try and sneak his way into that top 10. Needs to bank a lap. Needs to be better than a 1:22. What can the Racing Point driver produce? A bit narrow on entry into the Retafilio. The Roja. Oh, looks pretty nice and tidy through the first Lesmo. You've got to get as much speed as you can upon exiting the second. Seems to have done so. Put to the floor on his way down to Ascari. Try and use as much of those curves as you can without invalidating the lap. Didn't seem to get a lot of exit speed out of the complex. Can he make up for it through the Parabolica? Over the line, gets himself into second place. Still a very fast lap. Looked like he still left a lot of time out there, but with a 1:20.7, that's good enough for second at the moment. And that'll put the Humble Hippo in danger of losing his place. He's not going to have time either to jump in and grab himself a set of soft tyres, so he needs to make this lap count. if he's on a fast one. Humble Hippo about to complete sector 1, and he's given up on the lap, so that might be his day done as far as qualifying is concerned. Dangerfield making another run on the softs. Didn't quite feel safe there in 9th. And felt the need to go again, understandably too. With the Humble Hippo trotting around there, trying to punch out a fast time on those mediums, but has failed to do so. And still a threat to Dangerfield will be the McLarens of Still the Shiz and Renault. We'll take a look at those guys at the moment. So here comes Breno, Still the Shiz flying down the straight. That's good enough for 9th at the moment. Bumps Dangerfield down to the danger spot in 11th. Breno's next. This looks pretty quick. This should be enough to get him into the top 10, will it? 3rd, 120.3. Back within range of Mort. Just sat quietly at the top there the whole time. Got Tactics in a bit of a spin. That's coming out of us. Well, that's going into a Scari. Unusual spot to get her all crossed up, but continues on nonetheless. Now, it doesn't appear to have any damage. Actually, that's on his outlap. Not sure if maybe he was diving to get out of the way of, I don't know if there was anyone up ahead. Either way, he's kept it together. He's got 30 seconds to get across the start-finish line, so he's just made it. And now needs to put his head down, knuckle down, bum in the air, and get a lap logged so he can get out of 12th spot. Oh, and he's invalidated it straight away. Not working well for Tactics, and he won't be progressing through to Q3. And that might be just about it. The Humble Hippo's in. Still the Shiz eventually got knocked back down to 11th, so Dangerfield it was, put himself up into 2nd, and that'll be about all she wrote. Who's still out there? Very angry side pod going on a quick lap. I don't think he realised, not sure if he's aware, but he probably doesn't need to. I think he's aware now. And behind him is, Tactics finishing off that aborted lap. So that'll be your top 10 heading into Q3. More Dangerfield, Breno, Dark Knight in the Soul Running Racing Point. Whitey, the top of the Renaults. The Simo in the Soul Ferrari. Nodsty in the Haas. Cousin Jason in 8th. Ahead of his teammate Pump Mastiff in 10th. Two of those sandwiching Very Angry Side Pod in 9th. That lot will go through to Q3. And this session will come to an end very shortly. So there's your results. While we've got a moment, we will just take a short break. Please don't go too far. Q3 is right around the corner. We're back for Q3. This is the Australia-New Zealand Open Wheel Division 1 Championship, and you're tuned into round 7 from Monza, Italy. Not too many better places to go racing. As we take a look at Whitey in the Renault. He's pretty much rounding out the pack there. So who's first to go on a lap? We might just move to the person who was first out. Looks like it's Nodsty. The Haas car leading the pack through the roads of Monza. Oh, that was heavy through the second Lesmo. Didn't invalidate the lap though, so he can continue on flinging that Haas out of the corner. Good to watch. Cost him a bit of time though. I think it's Mort there behind him immediately. Took that time off him. Took that purple first sector off him. Mort has since lost that purple first sector too. Couldn't find who. Might have been that person who invalidated. Either way, Nodsty in the Haas is going to be the first across the line to set a time. 1:20.6. Mort usurps it immediately by 1.1 seconds. The Racing Point of Dark Knight goes up to second. The Simo's next in second. Then Dangerfield. He moves to fourth. The Renault of Whitey is not next to his very angry side pod with a near 120 flat to take him onto a provisional second row position. Oh, that Mercedes is in the pit, so it's up to Pump Mastiff to fly the Mercedes flag, and he does by 100th of a second. Gets provisional pole for the time being. That's pretty quick. Bam! Straight onto the front. Bided his time at the back of the pack there and just swooped in. Moved on to the provisional front row next to Mort. So, round 1 complete. That was pretty good. The drivers will head back to the pits. Maybe Cousin Jason might be looking to get back out there sometime soon, Willie, and possibly complete 2 runs. I'm not sure. As the rest of the drivers file their way back to the pits in preparation, getting ready to fire another round of shots. Okay, so as predicted, Cousin Jason makes that move out of the pits. Looking to pop time in. So 1.1 seconds covering the remainder of the field that has made it through to Q3. Nodsty down the bottom there with a 126. He's got plenty of time to find at the moment. We saw lost plenty coming out of the second Lesmo, flying through there near sideways. And he's about to go round for his second shot. Oh, Nosty's retired from the session, so that'll be as high as he's going, the 5th row. And can Cousin Jason go higher than the 5th row? Currently firmly in... Oh, he goes round! It's not his day. Has to gather that one up and get... Oh. just couldn't hold it together through the Redifilio first corner. So he needs to get back to the pits and fuel up and try again. Unless he's happened to put enough fuel on board for a couple of laps. But in the meantime, Mort's out there and getting ready to go again. He just needs to find better than 1/100th if he's to take pole position, provisional pole position from Pump Mastiff. Certainly going to give it a red hot crack. We ride with the Alfa Romeo driver. Takes us down to the Roja. Left, right. Smooth over the curbs. Approaches that first Lesmo on Cambo. The track just dips in, sucks you in towards the apex. Oh, and off and into the fence. He's out. Front right off. That'll be his session done. Mort just trying to carry as much speed as he could out of the corner. Wanted to find the maximum pace on the exit, and it was just too much for the car to handle. And found his way into the fence. So that brings out the yellow flags. And we are good to go once more. Minus Mort. Nods to his left. Mort's followed him. 8 drivers left. Pump Mastiff. Can he hold on? So, very angry side pod. He's out on his out lap. So is the Dark Knight. We've got Breno just behind the two. He's on a hot lap. He's purpled the middle sector. And he'll be looking for a sneaky toe off that racing point. I don't think he's going to get close enough to get it. Hopefully he doesn't wash him out through the Parabolica. Breno 120.1 currently moves to a 119.6. He's just shy of that second spot. Couldn't push Mort out of the front row. So close. So we'll go back to the very angry side pod now as he's amidst ripping and tearing on his fast lap. Look at that, holds the lock brake nicely through the Roja. Makes his way to the Lesmo now. Number 1 complete. Approaching Lesmo 2, where Mort met his fate. Handles it well. Charges his way down to Ascari. We've got another yellow flag out there. The Dark Knight's cooked his lap, and it's probably on the second Lesmo as well, I think. Starting to few signs of trouble in Lesmo too. Anyway, back to the very angry side pod. He needs to find half a second if he's going to bump Pump Mastiff out of that provisional pole time. As he makes his way over the start-finish line, it is a non-improvement, unfortunately. So the Dark Knight did his dough. Next round is, well, the Simo's about to kick off on a fast lap. Who else? Yeah, we'll stick with the Simo at the moment. I think Dangerfield's... So we might go to Dangerfield. I think he's the next man actually on a hot lap, with the rest completing their out laps. And then at the conclusion of this lap, we'll cut back to Simo. Dangerfield, look at that, keeping it as tight as he possibly can. That gets him to 5th, 119.8. Here comes the Simo. He's next on the grid. Currently sharing the 3rd row with Dangerfield with a 120.1. Definitely some more. Oh, that's wide and off. Izzy keeps it together. Hasn't invalidated the lap, but it may as well be. He's not going to be improving after that effort, unfortunately. Next up is Whitey. He's just down the road behind the Simo and has purpled the second sector. Oh, he gets a wobbler on coming out of Ascari. He's gathered it up. Hasn't invalidated the lap going that wide. Has he lost time? We're about to soon find out. He's 10 seconds away from the conclusion of this lap. Can he get himself up further than the 4th row over the finish line for the last time? It's a 1:19.7. Pump Mastiff's next. He can't improve. Actually, he's going on the fast lap now. I think I was looking at the wrong Mercedes there. Cousin Jason's done his day. He's finished. And we got the very angry side pod possibly out there going again. And that leaves Dangerfield and the Simo if they are going again. But it's all looking pretty good for Pump Mastiff at the moment. Yellow flag on the start-finish straight. Oh, that's Dangerfield. He's retired the car. It's a purple middle sector for the Mercedes as we see, I think it was Whitey hopping out of the way there with due courtesy. Round the final corner for the final time in qualifying 3. Pump Mastiff on provisional pole as it speaks, takes another 3/10 off his time and brings the benchmark down to a 1:19.2. The Simo can top that 1:20.1, and that is going to do us for Q3. So Pump Mastiff on pole position for the Italian Grand Prix and looking to relive the glory from 2 rounds ago when he took victory at Hungary. Backed it up with a 3rd place last time out at China, so he's been more than consistent, hence why he currently sits 3rd in the championship, albeit some 32 32 points behind. We know how quickly the gaps can change in Formula 1. So that'll be it for Q3. We'll have the results up on the screen very shortly. I'm going to take a quick break. The race will be just around the corner. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to the PS4 Australia New Zealand Open Wheel Division 1 Championship. You are tuned in to round 7 from Monza, Italy. I'm your host, Mike Wilson, and I don't know about you, I do say this most races, but I am looking forward to the rundown of the first corner on this one. Should be more than a little interesting. There's your pole sitter, Pump Mastiff, currently third in the championship. 32 points off the leader and looking to replicate his glory from Hungary 2 rounds prior. The Simo down there in 6th. He's your man leading the championship. It's a good chance for Pump Mastiff to make up something on that points deficit. 2nd place in the championship, the Big Sheesh, but he is absent for this race. So here we go now. The revs rise. The red lights come on. And we are away in Monza. And looks like a pretty decent start for the Alfa Romeo there of Mort. He takes the lead. He's got the McLaren of Breno right in his slipstream, looking to make a move. He's going to get inside of the Mercedes. Mastiff's going to go down to 3rd. I think they touched. And the Mercedes has now dropped back to 4th. The Renault goes up the middle. There's damage for Nodsty, I think it is. There's bits of front wing flying everywhere now. The car's at the back jockeying for position. Still the Shears looking to go up the inside of Tactics as they make their way down to the Roja. Back up front, it's still Mort in front. He's got Breno still just behind him. The Very Angry Side Pod in 3rd. Is there some damage back there? Did someone go off? It looks like they've all gotten through. No, it's the McLaren of Still the Shears and Tactics. Still the Shears went way wide. Not sure if they were involved in the same incident. And we got a Mercedes dropping back through. It's cousin Jason. 2nd Lesmo. Oh, hold it together there, son. Those mediums wanting to get out from underneath him. We better go back to the front of the field now. It's still Morton 1st. Breno 2nd. The Very Angry Side Pod now looking to close in on those front 2. Pump Mastiff 4th. The Simo in 5th with Whitey right behind him, looking to take another position back, having lost one from the start. As we make our way over the start-finish line for the first time. Was that wide? Or was it Hordo? He's off at the Parabolica. Has he got damage? I was looking forward to seeing. He has. He's going to have to box. Get that front wing sorted out. So he'll take to the pits. Meanwhile, back up front, the cars make their way through the Retafilio for the 2nd time. So plenty happening after the first couple of laps and a bit. We got 4 cars in the pit. Nodsty, Tactics, Still the Shiz, and Hordo following his off at the Parabolica. You're watching the Dark Knight there through the Roja. Soon to be followed through by Dangerfield in 10th. He was one of the big movers at the start. Made up 4 spots. Back up front is Breno, still trailing Mort. And then you've got Pump Mastiff in the Renault sandwich in 6th. There's the Mercedes driver now as we continue on. So, frantic first few corners for the drivers. But you wouldn't expect any less at Monza on F1 2020. Drivers look to start to settle into a bit of a rhythm. Some of them, others looking to make up some more places. Next man on track who could be trying to make a move could be the Dark Knight. He's trying desperately to pick up a toe on the championship leader there in 6th spot. The Simo, the sole running Ferrari. In front of the Tifosi. That sparks flying out of the car as he jumps the curbs. How long till we see the first penalty get dished out to someone? Is that a Humble Hippo? He went through the Retafilio a bit too, took a few too many liberties according to the stewards and is immediately given a 5-second penalty for his efforts. So we've got four drivers dropped off the back of the pack now. Nodsty, Hordo, Tactics, and still the Shiz. Those lot will be hoping for a safety car pretty soon in order to try and catch up back to the pack. So we're watching the Dark Knight now in 7th. Oh, and there's the driver off. It's the side pod. He's gone round out of Ascari. Gathers it up. Watch out for Dangerfield there in the Alpha Tauri. Oh, this could get ugly if he backs it up. Humble Hippo manages to avoid him. Cousin Jason's next. Stays off to the side. The side pod keeps going. Looks like he's got no damage either, so might have managed to keep it out of the fence following that one. That'll drop him down to 10th spot. And he'll stay ahead of those 4 down the back of the pack, having not had to pit for damage repairs. As we go back to the Dark Knight, here's the Simo now tracking the now lead Renault of Whitey. To make a move there. Whitey himself closing in on Pump Mastiff, who regains 3rd. Bit of a horror start there. It's a pity we don't have replays, but horror start for Pump Mastiff. Lost pole straight off the grid, and then bumped wheels with Breno through the Retafilio, which caused him to lose 4th place to the very angry side pod. And now covets 10th position. So you would think the next little move might come from this pack up here. It's led by Pump Mastiff. He's got Whitey right behind him. Breno up front there in 2nd, unable to make a bit of an impression on Mort. As we go through the parabolic once more. Now Whitey is tucked right in here behind Pump Mastiff. He's going to flick to the inside and using DRS go well past. And he'll just settle into 3rd place going into the Retafilio. Oh, and the Dark Knight goes wide. He has to cut the corner, bouncing the Racing Point over the curbs. Gathers it up and goes once more, but he's now out of DRS range, so he'll want to get back up there as quick as he can. Shouldn't be a problem, I don't think, as the Simo tries to make an impression on the Mercedes ahead of him in 4th. Can't quite do so at the moment. As we ride on board with the Ferrari through the 2nd, Lesmo gets it wide. Wise though, didn't just plant the foot. Made the long-term decision just to get out of the gas, hold it together, keep his race alive. But as a result, Dark Knight now right there behind him, just half a second. We've got a yellow flag. It's Humble Hippo, I think. Another victim of the 2nd Lesmo. It's a bit of a Bermuda Triangle spot, that one. Driver's just struggling to negotiate it on exit. But no damage done, and manages to gather up the Alfa Romeo and keep going for lap 6. The field is starting to spread out a little bit. Cousin Jason picks up a penalty of his own. We'll check those. There's the penalties on screen. The big 5-seconder for the Humble Hippo, cutting the Retafilio. And 3 for Cousin Jason and Porto. And as we mentioned, the penalties, Tactics down there in 13th picks up one of his own. So we might just need to set up a camera on the 2nd Lesmo and see what kind of action we'll get down there. But there is a race being run, and we'll go back to the leader with Mort. Now with the McLaren of Breno closing into under a second. And the Dark Knight gets a penalty of his own. We sort of saw that coming after we saw him doing a bit of curb hopping down at turns 1 and 2. Breno looking for some DRS action. He gets it this time, so that'll help him close in down the start-finish straight. Not as much as I thought. That Alfa Romeo of Mort's pretty quick in a straight line. Little jam of cars starting to form again. These lot down here from 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th. They spread out, they bunch back up. They spread out, they bunch back up. And we shouldn't discount the little battle going on down the back here for 13th position. Still the Shiz harassing the sole running Williams of Tactics. And still the Shiz will be close enough for some DRS action as they make their way through the Parabolica onto the start-finish straight. He can just stay tucked up. He stays well and truly tucked up. He's about to whiz past the Williams, I think. Here it is. Hello, Shiz. Give him a wave as he drifts past the Williams and takes 13th spot heading down to turn 1. You wouldn't believe it, we got a yellow flag coming out of the second Lesmo. I'm not sure who it was. It might have been Whitey. No, it was Very Angry Side Pod. Not having a happy time of it, I don't think. And we got a Mercedes in the pits, Pump Mastiff. So he's looking to get off those mediums already. Does he have damage? He does. So where did he go awry? We might have missed an incident. Mercedes gets the required service and heads out on his way. 27 lap race today in Monza. You are watching the Australia-New Zealand Open Wheel Division 1 Championship from Monza. It's great to have you with us wherever you may be watching, all around the world. Here goes Pump Mastiff out now. He's got an Alfa Romeo side by side. Oh, this is going to be tricky through the first 2 corners, but they manage it. Oh, Humble Hippo, though. He just got a little bit hot on the gas and went onto the grass. And credit to them, though. They didn't touch. Not easy to go side by side through there. Now he's Dangerfield. He's harassing the Simo in 5th. Oh, and Humble Hippo must have done it again through the Roja. He picked up another time penalty. So that takes his tally up to 8 seconds worth to be added onto his race time at the conclusion. Now the Dark Knight's gone wide here. Simo swoops through, takes 4th place, as easy as you like. Dusts off his hands, says thank you very much, I'll have that. And that demotes the Dark Knight now down to 5th. Now up front, these two now getting a little bit closer. Mort first, Alfa Romeo. Second, Breno, McLaren. And he actually... These two down the bottom here. Now I thought still the Shiz had done away with Tactics. We watched that once, but it looks like Groundhog Day down here, as he's going to look to do it again as we tune in from pretty much the same spot where he got it done on lap 7, I think it was. Homing in down towards the Parabolica. Just got to stay there. Oh, he goes well wide. Has to gather it up. Can't though. And that's going to drop him out of DRS zone as well, I think. No, he gets the DRS, does the Shiz. Oh, and a time penalty for the Simo there. Shiz gets in nice and close under brakes. We'll have to continue his pursuit. We've got, is it the side pod again? Having a hell of a day. That's out of Ascari again. I don't think he's got damage again. Might have got away with it. And we've got Breno. He's jumped into the pits. So he's going to try and undercut Mort. Gets it done. Grabs his tyres. Heads out on his way. Will Mort follow suit next lap? So Breno now on the medium tyre. Mort on the 9-lap old softs. 9 seconds ahead of Whitey on the 9-lap old softs. 9 laps completed. We are on lap 10 of 27 in this half-distance Italian Grand Prix. So Breno needs to put in some quick times here. Mort will know he's under pressure and be looking to do the same. Actually, we'll just pop down there. Is still the Shiz having another look at that Williams of Tactics. Can't quite get the move done. Intriguing little battle, this one down here for 13th. Tactics holding him out for the time being, though. Now, as predicted, Mort jumps into the pits. Dangerfield follows him down there. Whitey inherits the lead. Comes out of the pits. Where's Breno? He's way down there. So this has worked well and truly for the Mort. And that gap that was roughly... what was it? Actually, where's Breno now? Well, he's just way behind. Is that right? 7 seconds. That gap's huge there now. So did Breno make a mistake somewhere along the line? Surely he must have. He can't have just lost 7 seconds in a lap otherwise. Oh, that's unfortunate. That battle was heating up. Speaking of, Dangerfield here. The AlphaTauri meet in a Mercedes sandwich. He's got Pump Mastiff right behind him. The man who took pole jumped into the pits early after a horror start, which dropped him to 4th, and has now taken on the hard tyres. And even on that harder compound tyre, closing in there on Dangerfield. Looking to make a move. Not exactly looking to consolidate his position. Now this could be an interesting type. Oh, and there's a Mercedes off. It's cousin Jason. Where's he gone? Into the gravel on the exit of the Parabolica. Got it well and truly sideways. Looking for a spot to rejoin the track without taking anyone out. He's going to have to slot in there ahead of Hordo. Does he have any damage on that Mercedes? Heading into the pits would tell you yes. Going for another front wing change. So that's one Mercedes out of the equation. Dangerfield. Dangerfield still harassing the remaining Mercedes there. Oh, you look at him all over the gearbox heading into the Lesmo. He doesn't want a piece, he wants the whole thing. He's got his eyes on the prize now as they make their way down to Ascari. Mastiff making those hard tyres work pretty well. Meanwhile, down below, that still the Shiz might have finally got ahead in that battle for 13th. Made it work. And I'm not sure if Humble Hippo just got ahead of Nodsty. We'll stick with this one for the time being as Dangerfield with DRS wide open looks to make a move on Pump Mastiff down into turn 1. Will the Mercedes defend? No, he's confident in his position. And Dangerfield knew it as well. Didn't look to make a move. Further down, it's similar now with the Humble Hippo in 9th. Just ahead of Nodsty in that Sol Haas. Now the two Renaults have ended up together. Very angry side pod. He's inherited 5th spot at the moment as a result of having not stopped yet. Everyone has stopped bar himself and the 9th place Humble Hippo in the 2nd of the Alfa Romeos. So just to report on the leaders, we saw those two going hammer and tong at the start, and then we're guessing a mistake from Breno. Dropped him 7 seconds behind Mort. The gap now 5.8 seconds. We've got another yellow flag. This time it's the Dark Knight out of Ascari. And just behind him is the Humble Hippo. towing a Haas along, who's going for the move into the Parabolica. Should get it done. Oh, Humble Hippo says, I'm not letting it go that easy. Tries to stick it round the outside. Should get the benefit of DRS though, shouldn't the Alfa Romeo? There goes the rear wing popping open as he goes side by side with the Haas. Sticks the nose out in front and takes the spot back into the first corner. Ooh, just parks it on the apex. Trying to keep the Haas away from him. Either way, comes out of it in 9th spot. The race goes on. Should also mention, of those who haven't stopped, the man in the lead. It's the Simo out there in front. Not ready to stop yet either. Quite happy on his medium shod tyres. The one-stop soft strategy. That pit window's open now, so looks like that may be what the Simo's going for there. Will he pit at the end of this lap? How much is he getting out of those tyres? Now, we might pop back down to 9th spot because Nodsty in the Haas has found himself back in front of the Humble Hippo. Humble Hippo is going to get DRS again as they go down the start-finish straight once more. Will it be enough to close in on the back of the Haas and make some kind of meaningful manoeuvre into turn 1? Well, we're about to find out. He sticks his nose out and goes for it. Goes too deep. Off the track. Nodsty just waves goodbye as he heads off into the sunset. But you can't blame the Humble Hippo for trying. Seems to have found all his woes at turn 1 today. And once more he'll have to gather himself up and try and go again. These two, like Siamese twins, still the shiz and tact. Oh, and the shiz goes round and round and round at turn 1. And that puts paid to that little battle. I think Tactics, I guess, can be awarded the winner of that one. You can never fault still the shiz for trying. Always in there, grinding away, but just didn't come off for him this time. Now we'll move back up. We got Hordo now. Humble Hippo, having dropped off the back of Nodsty, now finds himself in the clutches of Hordo, who is racking up a few time penalties. These two, it's the battle of the time penalties here. Hordo with 9 seconds worth, just behind the Humble Hippo with 11 seconds worth. And I don't think the Red Bull's going to have too much bother getting past this Alfa Romeo. Tucks in, DRS open. We see the Renault very angry side pod join the track in the background from the pits. Ooh, did he get all 4 wheels locked for a second there, the Red Bull? Whether he did or he didn't, he's gathered it up. Takes 9th place and continues on. Now the Simo has since stopped. He's come out in 4th spot. And that one-stop strategy going medium to soft. We've got, yeah, there goes still the shiz into the pits after that spin at turn 1. We'll stick with Hordo for the time being because I feel he's going to close in. So he's on 13 lap old medium, so I'm not sure how much he's going to close in on the Dark Knight, and when he does, he'll have to box soon for a new set of Pirelli boots. Alfa Romeo in the background into the pits. That's the Humble Hippo. Makes his way down to the Alpha garage, the end of the pit lane there. Serves his penalties. Well, the 5... Yeah, that was all the penalties, actually. So he's running a clean slate as far as the penalties are concerned. Will come out of the pits in third, 12th position. Mercedes' a cousin, Jason, won't be too far behind. Back up front is your race leader, Mort. Driven solid all day so far. If he can keep that up for another 9 laps, he'll be looking pretty good. Mort currently sits 4th in the championship. He's on 60 points, 37 behind the championship leader, the Simo, who's currently 3rd. Had a pretty solid race himself, the Simo, even if he does sit 3rd. Yeah, Mort looking for a chance to make up a few points on that 37-point deficit in the championship. But still 9 laps to go. That's a third of the race. Anything could happen from here. Formula One's a funny game. And as the great, unfortunately late Murray Walker used to say, anything can happen in Formula One, and it usually does. Rest in peace, Murray. You're a bloody legend, mate. Lap 19 of the Italian Grand Prix. This is the Australian-New Zealand Open Wheel Division 1 Championship. I'm your host, Mike Wilson. Great to have you with us wherever you're watching from. And we are currently following 4th place Whitey with the 5th place Mercedes hot on his tail. Looking to take that spot off him. Up ahead, Mort leads the race pretty comfortably, 5 seconds ahead of the McLaren of Breno. 3rd place, Simo in the sole running Ferrari. Had a pretty solid race to get himself up to that position. But we're looking at Whitey in the number 9 Renault now, because he's got the Mercedes of Pump Mastiff pretty close behind him. And that Mercedes is about to flick open the DRS and make a move. Should get ahead well before the first corner. He's ahead now. Should be able to tuck back over to the left. Does so. And takes 4th spot. Pump Mastiff was your pole sitter. Had a horror start which dropped him to 4th. I think it was by the 1st lap. Now looking to make amends. Can he catch the Simo? What can he do on those hard tyres? Looking to grind his way right to the end of the race. Still got 7 laps to do so. Now what's happening down there? Oh, that's Mort. I think Mort's just lap tactics. Just wondering how it was showing Humble Hippo ahead of tactics, but no, it's race leader Mort, is it not? Yes, lap the Williams, so makes his way around the Parabolica to put 20 laps behind us now. Tactics is not keen to just sit behind there, not keen to go past the race leader either. Caught between a rock and a hard place. Didn't want to see a replay of Ocon Verstappen at Brazil. Was it 2018? At least these guys are racing from different rooms, different houses. No chance of a push and shove after the race. So more 6 laps to go. That gap has reduced to Breno. 4.6 seconds. No penalties up front. Penalty would spice it up, but that's for sure. Further down, we might go back to, looks like after having been passed by the Mercedes, Whitey hasn't exactly let Pump Mastiff run off into the distance. Still just hanging on to the tail of the Mercedes. The same goes for Tactics down there, because Tactics is just pitted for new socks, so still a bit of pace in those tyres, and Mort can't exactly get away from him. I don't know if that's impeding the Alfa Romeo much, because the gap to Breno's now dropped to 4.1. I mean, there's not many laps to go and plenty of time up his sleeve. He can probably feel comfortable to let that gap reduce as we watch. Who's that? I think it's just cousin Jason. Is he just politely jumping out of the way? Watch the P0 sponsorship, son. They pay good money for those signs. Oh, another one cooked. Flicks over to the inside of the track. He's being courteous. Now finds a spot to jump back onto the track and continue on. Unfortunately in 14th and last, and probably having a bit of a difficult time of things on those harder compound tyres. A yellow flag again. There in the region of cousin Jason. Oh, a 3-second time penalty for Whitey. That'll all but kill his 4th place battle with Pump Mastiff, you would assume. And now he needs to watch out for Dangerfield behind him. Oh, cousin Jason. He's all over the shop at the moment. Put a yellow flag down at turn 1. I think it was Breno. It looked like a McLaren. I think it might have been still the Shears. He's just gathering it up and getting on his way again. So yeah, I think it was still the Shears. Could be wrong though, I missed it. Cousin Jason's called it a day. The Mercedes crew called him into the pits, and that will be it. So we're down to 13 runners. And the field fairly spread out now, so I think the closest two on track are still Pump Mastiff and Whitey. He just got a little bit closer there and then, so he was looking to get away, Pump Mastiff. The gap was just over a second, and just like that, back down to 7/10. So this will put Whitey back into calculations as far as overtakes go on the start-finish straight. Can he get close enough? He'll have the DRS. I think 7/10 might be too much of an ask for the Renault. Hard tyres there for Pump. 15 laps old now. But the 11-lap-old mediums, Whitey won't be exactly going great guns themselves. The gap out front between Mort and Breno, now 3.5 seconds. As I said already, he seems happy to let that gap reduce. Say that it's 3.2 seconds. Doesn't want to let it drop too much. See Pump Mastiff on the ragged edge through a scurry there, having to do everything he can to hold that Mercedes on the track. He's not going to, all going as it is, his Pump Mastiff is not going to catch the Simo in third place. And with Whitey harbouring that 3-second time penalty, Renault's not exactly a threat to the Mercedes either, but you won't exactly want to lose that track position, you know, and racing's in your blood. It just doesn't feel right letting another driver through. So lap 25, we've just got 2 and a bit circuits of the Monza Grand Prix to go. The checkered flag will be raised, and the man looking most likely to greet the judge at the finish will be Mort. 3-second lead over Breno in the McLaren. The Simo there, still a solid race of his own in third. Now, he's making those softs work pretty good, doing his best to catch Breno, but he's got that 3-second time penalty of his own, and that should put paid to his chances of a second place. Actually, Simo's really closing that gap. Breno was closing right in on Mort, with the gap now sort of stagnating at 3 seconds, but the Simo moving in on Breno, it seems. But the man that's pretty much looked in control all day, Mort, he's only got 1.5 laps to go. There it is, that sexy purple leopard skin helmet, just breezing off into the distance. Looking good for 25 World Championship points. Actually, we'll pop down to the Dark Knight. He is closing right in on that Red Bull there, as those two make their way around Curva Grande, closing in on the Roja. The Racing Point deciding to just tuck back in, pick a better moment. What are they looking like in the penalty situations? It's 12 for Hordo, 9 for the Dark Knight, so technically he's already ahead of Hordo. It's just a question of whether or not he'll like to try and make that move happen on track. We've got a yellow flag just up ahead here. I'm not sure what's happened. Maybe Nodsty's run wide, and if that's the case, it's allowed the Very Angry Side Pod to close right in on him. Can't see an overtake yet. We'll just try and keep one eye on these two, one eye on the battle out front. Actually, the Simo's dropped right off Mort and Breno now, so Simo's at a moment, I think. Very Angry Side Pod completed the move. There's the Simo. I'm not sure what happened to him. He's in no danger behind. No, actually, I shouldn't say that too soon, actually. With a 3-second penalty, if Pump Mastiff manages to find 1.5 seconds somehow on this lap, yeah, the Simo could find himself dropping off the podium. I'm not sure what happened there. Has his tyres gone off the cliff? It doesn't look like it. The gap seems to be holding at 4.3 now. Anyway, as I jibber on, I do apologise. Congratulate your winner of the Italian Grand Prix, Mort, ahead of the second place, Breno. And Simo's going to hang on and take third place by the looks of it. And fourth, Pump Mastiff. Fifth, Whitey. Sixth, Dangerfield. And here's the next man on track, the Very Angry Side Pod. Oh, he goes well wide. Where you going, mate? gathers her back up. Oh, and just gives us a whoa, and a bit of contact just for S's and giggles. And they park the, forget donuts at Abu Dhabi on the start finish straight. Give us some of that. Here comes the Racing Point. Boom, into the action. Collecting a few cars. Oh. Tyres, carbon fibre, bits of wings everywhere. Who's next into the fray? Humble Hippo. Can he? Oh, we didn't get to get with him. 10th will go to the Dark Knight. Driver of the day goes to Dangerfield. Got a little effort making his way up through the field. But time to go to your podium. Mort, the man of the moment. Solid as a rock today. Took the lead off the start from second position. Never looked back. Towed Breno down to the first corner with him. And Breno likewise never looked back. Had some sort of an incident. We didn't quite see what happened. After they made their first pit stops, Breno was suddenly 8 seconds behind. And goes to the Simo despite that 3-second time penalty, making up three places from the start. So not taking too much damage as far as the championship standings are concerned. Pump Mastiff, the pole man, dropped to 4th after the start, stayed in 4th. Same goes for Whitey. Started, finished 5th, and there's Dangerfield, the man, started 14th and last, and made his way all the way up to 6th. So another edition of the Australian New Zealand Open Wheel Division 1 Championship done and dusted. It's been a pleasure to bring you all the action. I'm your host, Mike Wilson. Please join us next time when we go racing. But for now, unfortunately, that's all we've got for you. So it'll be bye for now.